Okay, so again, today what we're going to talk about is apps and resources that you can put on your phone device that will help you in your real estate career. Okay, so I am going to hit share as soon as I figure out which screen I need to do it on. Share screen two. Okay, are you guys looking at phone the start of a PowerPoint?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. All right. So, phone apps that every agent needs to have. Obviously, this is your intro. These have become increasingly important. I have an entire screen or a tab that probably has 20 plus apps on it on my phone for utilizing for things like this. So, this is not intended to be an all-inclusive list. And there are many of the apps that might talk about here that are specific to a particular vendor or a particular supplier, but there are others, and I'll mention those along the way. Some of the apps that we're going to talk about today may be free. Some of them may actually have some fee associated with utilizing them. And if I know what that is, I'll be sure to call that out, but I may or may not. So one of the first ones, there's going to be some that are going to be real obvious to you, and some that you may just be totally shocked to hear. Okay, so there are multiple different types of mortgage calculator apps, and every agent needs to have one of these. I particularly have the one that is pictured here on the right side of this. The particular source that I was looking for when I was developing this loved the Zillow mortgage calculator because it had primarily because a lot of clients are using that, and you might want to use the same thing that your clients might have. But I use an unbranded one. There are literally dozens of them. I just use the best one that's free that's in there. But I like this particular one, and I've got a screenshot of it right there because you can literally use these slide bars to determine, okay, if the house is 300 instead of 225, and what your down payment would be if you were to do 2 or 3%, and the interest rates, you can slide that based off of what the interest rates are, and it automatically calculates up at the top what your monthly payment is likely to be. When you've got a client that is working on a budget and they have a particular payment in mind, this is a good way to figure out what they can and cannot afford. And if the interest rates have changed since the last time that they got pre-qualified, this might help you figure out what they can still afford. Okay. So that is a mortgage calculator app, whether you use a generic one, whether you use a Zillow calculator, whatever the case may be, doesn't matter to me. Okay. The next one is some type of scanning device for your phone. Again, this is a particular brand name called TurboScan. There's others, there's Scan Pro, and what they basically do is they use your phone, your camera phone, to with some smart algorithms and artificial intelligence to be able to show you, to be able to create a PDF with the edges cropped and everything already. All right. I have used this multiple times in the field at a closing table when they send you the Alta, or you've got a file copy of your a paper copy of Amendment 2, but they don't have it digitally. You can literally pull out your camera, photograph it, scan it, send it to the closing attorney, and Bob's your uncle. You're off to the races. Okay. Um, and at the same time, something else to keep in mind: you can use this in conjunction with your e-signing software. So take your photograph, create a PDF out of it, and then you can send it to your Docs Plus session and create a signature on it. Very simple, very easy. Something just to keep in mind. Okay. So that's two. Let's talk about the third one. Some type of a drive device, whether you use Google Drive, which we all have and should take advantage of. You don't have to pay anything more for it. You could also use Dropbox. I mean, there's dozens of these bad boys. I actually have I've had Dropbox for years. I probably could switch everything to Google Drive now and not spend 11 bucks a month for Dropbox, but I'm probably just going to keep it there just because it's already set up and I don't have to change it. So, but what this does allows you to have your files saved in the cloud to access them from anywhere. It also does some cool things like obviously scan it for malware, viruses, all that kind of good stuff. So there's some safety involved in using these. Also, it'll help you to organize your files, save them in across all your products. Um, and then you can use a Google link to save multiple documents. Okay, so sometimes if you try to do that, sending too large of a file, it'll get stripped. You can actually use a link, and that will get it through email to somebody. Okay, and like I said, there are other similar products like Dropbox and others, many more. You guys can research those on your own. Okay. I'm a big fan of Calendly, as you probably already know. And in my signature block, if you haven't looked at an email that you've received from me in my signature block, you can see how you can book a calendar, how you can book an appointment on my calendar. That is the same signature blocks that goes to my clients, and my clients can book an appointment on my calendar, whether it be for a 30-minute technically, I guess my clients could book a 30-minute coaching session if they wanted to, but I also have a 15-minute phone call in there where a client could book a 15-minute phone call with me. And I haven't done it yet, but I could put that very same link on my new Moxie website, and somebody could literally book an appointment with me from my website because that widget exists and the capability is there. And if anybody would like to figure out how to do that on your website, I'd love to show you. I'd love to figure it out how to do it on my own, and then I'll show you how to do it. I cannot. You're muted. Oop. Say again. What's your question? Hmm? Okay.
How many appointments have you actually gotten through the calendar?
Oh, so I'm sorry, Leah's across the hallway from me, and she's asking me how many appointments have I actually gotten through Calendly? What, through my website? Yeah, I think I've only had Calendly a couple of months, and I think I've maybe gotten 2 or 3 that way. So, that's not bad. It's not. They're not going to blow you up theoretically. Maybe if I was doing more internet marketing, more social media marketing, that might be even higher. Okay. So Calendly's a great program. I'm a big fan. Like it a lot. Take advantage of it. All right. Who here has seen in the MLS and in listings some floor plans and some dimensions and some square footages within rooms? All right. Most likely, the agent is either paying somebody like Andrew from Photology to create that backup plan for them, or that blueprint for them, or they're using something called Magic Plan, which is a 3D mapping app, which helps you to scan rooms to determine what the dimensions of those rooms are, and even put together a very basic floor plan type of map, which is nice if you're listing a home to give somebody an idea of the interior layout of it. I know when I was helping my mother buy a home 2 years ago, every house I sent her, she was like, "Can I get a floor plan of that house?" Guess what, Mom? They don't do those very much. Now you can. All right. So Magic Plan is one that I know has a cost associated with it, if I'm not mistaken, or if you're going to do more than a handful of plans in a period of time, there is a cost associated with it. But they have also a basic free plan too. Okay. Where possible, I've tried to give you an idea what the icon might look like, so where you can go and figure these out. Okay. Of course, you should have your CRM on your phone. Okay. It requires you to be constantly updating, communicating with your clients. So having that CRM on your phone is critical. So guess what? Moxie doesn't have an app. If you were to go to the Google or to the iPhone store or the Google Play store and put in Moxie as an app, you will not find it. However, you still can get it on your phone. And it's very, very simple. And there's an easy little tutorial, which I will attach to this when it gets recorded. And I'm happy to email it out to everybody. But essentially, there is a very easy workaround, and it looks like this. You can add your MoxieWorks product, any of the MoxieWorks products, to your mobile device home screen by simply pulling it up in like your Safari or whatever your particular web browser of choice is. And then if you notice, you can use this little button that we should all be familiar with, add to home screen, and um, it actually puts your Moxie into something that's easily accessible from within your Safari or your Google or whatever web browser you happen to be using on your phone. I have tested this; it works well. It's seamless. It works. I mean, it's a little clunky to read in the vertical orientation as opposed to horizontal orientation, but it works. Okay. Any questions on that? All right. Another great app that you should either have on your phone or integrated into your laptop is actually the Zoom app, and you can actually add the Zoom extension to your web browser for scheduling appointments and Zoom calls. Zoom is a great way to multiply your what's the word I'm looking for, to make you stretch further. Okay, if you can do a Zoom app to meet with your clients to talk about, the feedback from the listings that we've had over the last week, or to, present your showing time activity report because you're going to talk to them about a price reduction. If you could do that without having to drive an hour across town, if you can do that via Zoom and in a 15-minute call, tell me how that doesn't make sense. It does. Okay, and you can simply send your client a calendar invitation, include the Zoom link in it. It's simple, it's easy, it works really, really well. Strongly encourage everybody to take advantage of Zoom, to leverage your business and make you stretch further. All right, Canva. Need we say more? Most of the marketing materials that the help desk is producing nowadays is done within Canva. And you guys are probably much better at this than I am. I am a graphics nerd, a graphics zero. I don't I don't see things the way a lot of people do. So I have to leverage other things, and Canva is one way to get a nice professional looking presentation together or an announcement together. Me personally, I have discovered how Moxie Impress makes that almost idiot proof, and I'll never go back the other way. But Canva's a great tool if you've got something very unique and very different that you're trying to create a marketing piece for. All right, let's keep going. A big fan of mine, or I'm a big fan of Waze. Okay, mapping programs, everybody's got their own flavor, everybody likes their own brand. I've been a big Waze fan ever since it first came out. I like this. Think of Waze as Google Maps, more prepared, friendly version of it. Okay. Um, I like it because it gives you route planning. It takes you around a particular traffic feature. I love the ETA feature. It's practically made for real estate agents. If you're on the way to a showing and you're going to be a few minutes late, forwarding your ETA to your client is a great asset. By the way, let's talk about less about the app and more about kind of a general practice. It is inevitable that you are going to be late for showings on occasion, right? Or late for an appointment on occasion. What's the window of time in which you as a professional agent should notify your client if you're going to be either early or late? I'm open to discussion.
I would imagine I would imagine it would be as soon as you know. Like how could you really have a
Kind of,
window
sort
if
of.
it depends on your situation. Like if you're stuck in traffic, you don't know. It's gonna be like right there
Exactly.
and then.
Yep. Well, one of the features of Waze that I love is it tells me exactly when I'm going to get there. And if I'm going to get there at 5 minutes after, you know what? This is Atlanta. This is Metro Atlanta. Just about everybody in Metro Atlanta knows what Atlanta traffic is like. And if I'm going to be there 5 minutes early or 5 minutes late, I'm probably not going to go to the time and effort of calling my client or the showing and saying I'm going to be 5 minutes late. 10 minutes or more, that's when I'm going to make sure that I am communicating with my client saying, running a few minutes behind, but ETA looks like this. Okay. If I'm meeting that is especially important if I'm meeting a client that I've never met before. If you have never met somebody before and you show up 10, 15 minutes late for the meeting that you yourself scheduled, bad form, unprofessional, people are gonna take note of that. Okay. All right. So the other thing I like about Waze, am I back on my Waze screen? You guys, thank you. Is the route planning. So we will often, as agents, schedule 4, 5, 6 showings in a day. And I will inevitably, when I have created my showing cart itinerary, I will go down through and I will create my route plan and I will enter all 5 of my addresses into my Waze and set them up with the exact time that I'm supposed to be there. And then Waze tells me when I'm supposed to leave. So if I'm showing the house and my clients are taking a bit longer and I know it's going to take me 15 minutes to get to the next house and we're 15 minutes before that time, then I get a little notice on my phone that reminds me, hey, remind my clients, hey, folks, I don't want to rush us, but we are scheduled to be somewhere else in 15 minutes, and just kind of try to be courteous about that. All right. Any questions about Waze? All right. The next one, this one is called Forewarn, and it is a safety app specifically made for real estate agents to make your showings more safe. Okay, so Forewarn, let me go to my next screen. This is what the actual program looks like. I just took a screenshot out of here. This is one that I have known about for a while, but I've never actually utilized, so I don't have firsthand experience to give to you. But the way it is done, and if I was in the position of some of you ladies where you're showing somebody that you've never met before, the lady agents among us are in my, in reality a little bit more vulnerable. This would be something that I would be a little bit more prone to utilize if I was in that position. But you can do some research by using this tool to verify a phone number. So if you have a buyer client that you've never met before, they want to show your listing, you can use their phone number to do a little bit of a background investigation on them. You can arrive at the showing, you can walk out, take a picture of their license plate, and put it into Forewarn, and it'll give you some information about the registered owner of that vehicle. If you are dealing with a listing, you can look up the person and determine if they are a legitimate seller or not. Likewise, a legitimate buyer or not. I have had a buyer that put an offer in on a $1.2 million property and had no intention of actually buying it. He was a complete fraud, wanted to go and have a place to hang out with his music producer buddies, thinking that it was a house that he was going to buy. And I started doing my research on him afterward, and the first thing I found was a fraud report with his picture on it. If I'd have done Forewarn beforehand, I might have known that long before that position. Okay. If I'm not mistaken, there is also, I believe Forewarn has one where when you're in the showing, you can actually put your finger on the button of your phone, and if you take your finger off, it will send a text notifying whoever you have got pre-set up to notify, whether it be your spouse, whether it be me, somebody at the brokerage, whatever, that you are in danger. If you take your thumb off of that, then it will send that notification. Make sense? So that way you are much safer than you would be otherwise. All right. So this is everything that Forewarn does for you. That's what it looks like. I would be a big fan. For many of you, I would strongly advocate the use of something along this line for your own personal safety. I believe if you do the background investigation part of it, there is a fee for it every month, but I'm sure there's also a free version of it too. Okay. All right. Should become obvious, and you may be wondering why you haven't heard it before now, but Showing Time has an app, and it's great. You can schedule your showings, you can change your times, you can modify an itinerary on the fly. If you know that your clients have put you behind the power curve, you can go in, reschedule your next 2 showings for 30 minutes later. You can cancel those showings. You can review your cart, your showing cart. You can leave feedback actually on this app too. It's a great app. If you don't have it in your arsenal, you need to. Okay. Of course, you've got to have Super to be able to open those doors. It's an obvious thing, but in addition to opening monitors or opening the doors, you can monitor your listing inventory. You can put if you have a listing, you can put the box with that is on the house into your phone inventory, and you can get notifications every time somebody opens your listing. You can also leave feedback on Supra. I'm not a fan of doing that. The other thing that your Supra box, your eKey will allow you to do is to change key box settings. So if your box is set to open at 9 a.m. and your client says that I don't want anybody ever coming into my house before noon, you can go change the settings to where the box will not open before noon on any particular day. Okay, but you have to physically be at the box to open it to be able to change those settings. So that's how and the Super eKey box app is how you use that. Okay. HomeSnap. HomeSnap is another fairly useful tool for agents. There is the HomeSnap Pro version. There's HomeSnap is available for anybody and everybody. Joe Schmuckatelli, your client could theoretically download HomeSnap and use it. There is a Pro version that is specifically made for agents, and it has some additional features, particularly around being able to reach and contact other agents within there. One of my favorite features on HomeSnap Pro is the ability to look up your cooperating broker. Say, for example, Claire was doing a deal with me and I didn't know Claire. I could go into HomeSnap, look Claire up on there, see how many deals she's done, see her deal flow over the last 2 years, and I would know whether she was an experienced agent and an inexperienced agent. With one click of a button, I could add her into my phone contacts directly from the HomeSnap app. Love that feature. All right. Open Door. Am I advocating that you send any business to Open Door? Of course not. However, Open Door, if your client, the Open Door puts their homes on the MLS, you could potentially have an Open Door house amongst all of your showings on your showing cart. You need a way to open that door because they do not have Supra iBoxes. So you have to have the app and you have to have your account. I can remember many years ago when Open Door first started becoming a thing. I had a showing cart. I had 6 houses in that thing, thinking every one of them had a Supra iBox on it. It did not. And the first time I literally had to sit on the front porch, download the Open Door app, create my account, and then open the daggum door for my clients. Took an extra 3 minutes, but learn from my mistakes. Have it in your phone beforehand. Okay. Of course, I would be remiss if I did not have our own broker Mint has an app that you can put on your phone. And this is where you can monitor your business, monitor your pipeline, your pendings, your closed. You can get notifications when you have a task that is due. You can upload documents via the app. And if you use your Scan Pro or whatever your scanning app, you can do it all from within your phone, uploading it straight into your broker Mint. Okay. That is all of the apps that I have to talk to you about today, but I'm sure that that is not an all-inclusive list. You guys have any that you've been utilizing that I didn't cover here that anybody else might take advantage of? She's looking. Go ahead, Claire. You're muted.
Real Scout Pro.
Hey, you know what? I have not put that one on there. Thank
That's
you.
a good one. Yeah,
Yep.
get your messages straight to your phone.
Good one.
And Home Snap, I really like that one. I've actually got a listing appointment on Saturday morning from messaging someone on Home Snap.
Okay. And that one I covered too.
Yeah, you did, but like that one's a good one.
Yep, agreed. Okay. Awesome. I need to add Real Scout to my list.
Definitely.
Thank you. All right, everybody. Thank you so very much, ladies. Have a great day. If you need anything, let me know.
Thanks. Bye.